Welcome back, y'all, to Whiplash TV. Today I'm going to do some speaker upgrades on the Pontiac G8. I've got some brand new Alpine Type S speakers to install in it today. I'm going to change out all four 6.5 inch speakers and all four doors. I'm going to show y'all how to install them and how to remove your door panels and everything. Let's hop right into it. The first thing we have to do is we have to remove this little plastic cover that's hiding the screw. Behind that cover is a T25 Torx bit. Remove it. Next up, you have 6 Phillips screws to remove. One is right up in here. You have 3 across the bottom. And then you have 2 on the inside. One right there and one right there. All 6 of those are Phillips. After all 6 of those screws are removed, we're just going to pull off the panel. Up top, you have these 5 clips that are helping to hold in the panel. And you also have a bunch of white clips out here around the outside of the panel. Sometimes they just all pop off all at once. So try to pull off the top of the panel and try to support it. On the back side of the panel, you have 2 cables. You have a lower cable and you have an upper cable. The lower one popped right off. The upper one I'm going to show you how to take off. So you're just going to pull this yellow right out of the slot like so, and then you're just going to pull it right up and out. Then your whole panel is free to come off. Here's another look at the back side of the panel so you can get a feel for what's coming loose when you take your panel off. On the outside, clip, 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 locating tab, another clip. You've got another locating tab right there. Now our 6.5 inch door speaker is right here and it's just held in by 3 Phillips. Your speaker is held on by 1 clip right back here. For anyone wondering, the stock speaker is a 2 ohm speaker and says it has a rating of 30 watts. So now our stock speaker is out and it's time to compare it to the Alpine. So what I have here is the Alpine S-S65 Alpine Type S series speakers. I did a bunch of research and looking at them on YouTube and online. And after looking at a bunch of different tests and kind of listening to the sound as best I could with like some headphones on and trying to get a feel for everything, these are the ones that I ended up going with. So let's unbox them and take a look. Here's what the speakers look like. They have a little bit different style of a surround. They use a carbon fiber blend for their woofer cone, which keeps it really light. They also have these capacitors or filters, whatever they all do, for the tweeter and for the low. On some speakers you'll see that they only have one for the tweeter, but these speakers have one for each. So here's a comparison between the Alpine and the stock speaker. You can tell that the mounting plate around the outside of the Alpine is a lot smaller than the mounting plate of the stock speaker, which overall appears to make the Alpine speaker look to be a bigger speaker. I just wanted to show y'all this measurement real quick. So if I put measuring tape on these speakers, they measure out to be 6 1/4 out here at the outer edge of the metal mounting ring. But if I measure the speaker section itself, it only comes out to about 5 inches. So that was something I found interesting about these, is they have such a big mounting surface on the outside. your speaker in the center is only 5 inches in diameter. Here's a comparison of the two magnets. The Alpine is a good bit bigger. The Alpine also comes with this mounting plate for each speaker. The Alpine speakers do come with normal wiring that you would expect to come with speakers. The other thing that I bought to go with this install, and I actually got both sets of speakers and 2 sets of these as a kit, is these fast rings. These fast rings are supposed to help with the acoustic sound. As seen here, it shows normal and shows your sound waves. And then over here, it shows what should be a more focused sound based off of how the sound waves hit off your door, and then with a spacer between the door panel and the speaker itself. So this is what they look like. Simply 2 round sections of foam, and then they're cut into 3 pieces. It is sticky backed foam, so once you take off this brown paper, it then is going to stick onto the back side of your door, right behind your speaker. And then you're left with 2 other trim rings that also are sticky back behind them. And these are supposed to go from your speaker and then to the door panel to seal up and keep the sound waves coming out of your door. So now the wiring is done on the Alpine speaker, so I'm going to make sure that it sounds good and plays correct. I will put up a wiring diagram for the G8. On this front speaker, the dark green is negative and the light green is positive. Alright, so the speaker is working and playing correctly, so I know that the wiring is good and the speaker sounds good. So now I'm going to put in that foam. I took some rubbing alcohol and wiped the back of the door there. Now I'm going to take my piece of foam, I'm going to peel the sticky back part, and then I'm going to stick it to the back side of the door. Then I'm going to run my window down past it and make sure it clears. Alright, the window clears by it just fine. I'm going to mount the speaker with the wiring at the bottom. So for mounting, I'm going to do 4 of the supplied black screws. There is some plastic material from the factory basket all the way around. So I'm just going to hold the speaker to split the difference and then tighten it down. I put on the foam around the outside of the speaker, and here's how that looks. So that is just going to mash down right behind the factory speaker grill and just help the sound acoustics to come straight through the door panel and not keep them from bouncing around behind it, according to the fast foam ring makers of this product. They are inexpensive, and I figured that they were worth a shot. Anything to help the sound quality, right? Alright, so now I'm going to put the door panel back on, and then I'll show you how to take off the back door panels, and we'll install the speakers in those. So now on these back doors, to get them off, we have to first remove this little plastic insert piece to show the screw behind it. So there's a screw right there that's going to have to come out. And also on this panel, we have 1 screw right up in here under the door pad that we got to take off. There's also a Phillips screw tucked right up into here. And then there's a screw right here. And there's a screw right here. 2 on the bottom of the door panel that have to come off. This screw is a Torx 25 bit, just like the front door panel. You have the same two cables that have to come out. They snap in the same way as the front doors. And you're gonna have an electrical connection right up in here to unclip. On the back side of it, there's a tab that you're just gonna push in and then pull out. And there it is right there. The speaker's gonna come out with 3 Phillips screws and then an electrical connection on the back. So this is kind of interesting. This speaker has a little bit of corrosion back here, and these 2 mounting tabs have rusted and come apart right here. They were still plugged in and I was still getting sound from the speaker, but these have seen a little bit of moisture before. And I'm not aware of ever getting water into the car or into this door. I've never had an issue with that. The bottom of the door inside is all clean. There's no water, no debris, no rust, no junk. So that's kind of interesting. Y'all let me know if you've ever run into that before. So next, I have wiped off the back of the metal of the door with some rubbing alcohol, and I'm gonna put in the same sticky back foam pad right back there. I also took a little bit of electronics cleaner and I sprayed it up into this connector where those rusty tabs were going into. I've already ran the window up and down just like the front doors, and it does clear these foam pads in the back. So next I'll hook up my speaker wiring. The dark blue is positive, the light blue is negative on this one. Here's what I did for wiring on this. I looked at another video and it said that the speaker connector that goes to a Mazda would work on this one. And when I ordered a set of the connectors, both of those were, let's just say if this is the straight edge, both of them were in the same orientation, like this. It didn't have one going this way and one going this way. So I just put on a couple of these connectors so that they'll plug right into this connector and I won't have to cut the harness. So there it is, plugged right into the connector of the original harness. Next, I'll take some electrical tape and wrap this up. Now I've got the whole electrical connection wrapped up with electrical tape. It's not going to pull on out of there. It's going to stay tight and it won't get any more moisture in it either. Now I can connect these onto the back of the speaker and put the speaker into the housing. You might notice that this top part of the opening has plastic on the back of it while the bottom part has nothing. So on the back side of these speakers, I'm putting these and the connections at the bottom, and then this part at the top, and it fits inside there just fine without trimming. Some speakers I've seen people have to trim that plastic in this opening. So now with this speaker put into that plastic hole, it has a little bit of a gap around the outside where the screws are going to go. And since this one is made different, I'm going to use the self-piercing screws with the rubber-backed washer in all 4 locations. Here's the screws I'm going to use. Now the speaker is installed. Always verify once your screws are in your speaker that it's nice and tight, that if you go to pull on it, that it is cinched down. One other thing I like about running these self-piercing screws all the way through, these self-piercing screws are going to keep this plastic basket sandwiched up against the door nice and tight, so we won't have any rattles. So now the foam baffle is installed, so I can go ahead and reinstall the door panel. Y'all, please take a second to go down below and hit that thumbs up and like this video. Also, please look to see if you're subscribed or not, and ring that notifications bell so that you'll get notified every time that I post a new video. I am super happy with the way that these Alpine speakers turned out. They sound incredible. I know you can only hear so much through the camera, but hopefully you were able to hear that just a little bit. The install went super smooth, and I hope now that y'all have a good understanding of what it takes if you would like to change out the door speakers in your Pontiac G8. If you would like to purchase a set of the speakers that you saw used in today's video, then just go right on down below to the video description, and there's a link right there where you can purchase them. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.